What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. So NIO Day, which was 2 days ago, has come and gone, and they actually announced quite a few things at the NIO Day event, from the release of the ET5 and different stats about that vehicle to their expansion plans for 2022. So we're going to go over all of that and what it could mean for NIO, and then make sure you guys stick around to the end of the video because a NIO analyst actually reiterated their bullish stance on NIO, and so we're going to go over what their price target is for NIO in the next 12 months. Now, as I'm sure most of you guys are aware, NIO has been trading pretty rough over the past month or so, and looking at the daily chart today, they're actually down about 6%. They've traded all the way down to under $28 today, and this is due mostly to the new sickness variant that's going around, and it's bringing in a lot of concerns pretty much for the entire market. As of right now, at the time of recording this, the entire market is down about 1.6%, but most of the well-known EV companies are actually suffering a lot more than the overall market. So I don't want you guys to think that it's only NIO that's trading in the red today, because almost all of the electric vehicle companies that people know, like Tesla, Li Auto, XPeng, and a couple others, are actually down quite substantially today, just like NIO. But even though NIO is trading down today, there is positive news that came out at the NIO Day event. And starting off, NIO actually announced their 5th model, which is the ET5, on NIO Day. At this event, they actually officially began the pre-order of their newly unveiled model, and they said this model is expected for delivery from September of next year. And for customers who buy with the battery pack, pre-subsidy prices for the ET5 stand at about $52,000. And this is for the version with the 75 kilowatt hour battery pack. But if you choose to upgrade to the 100 kilowatt hour battery pack, that's going to run you about $60,500. And then they're also offering an option with the battery as a service, and this is going to reduce the price down to $40,000. Now, you are going to have to pay monthly for the battery rental service, but that really reduces the price and it cuts it by about 50%. And that makes their car a lot more affordable, even though you do have to pay that monthly fee of about $100. Now, aside from the unveiling of the ET5, NIO claimed that the ET7, which was their first sedan model, is going to be available for delivery from March 28th of 2022. So that's only in a few months here. And then come September, the ET5 is going to be available. But as for the building of NIO's power network, to date, they've deployed 733 battery swap stations, 3,348 destination chargers, and over 3,100 superchargers, and they had access to over 440,000 third-party chargers. Now, this is where NIO actually gets pretty ambitious, and they have goals for the end of 2022 to have a total of 1,300 power swap stations, which is going to be nearly double of what they're currently at. And then they want to get 6,000 superchargers, which is again about double their current rate at 3,100. And then they want 10,000 destination chargers across China. And that's almost 3 times the current destination chargers that they've deployed. Now, before we actually get into NIO's expansion plans for 2022, I want to back up to the ET5 again. Now, I think this could be one of NIO's best-selling vehicles that they're going to have for years to come. Because as of right now, we know William Li, who's the CEO of NIO, he actually called the ET5 NIO's most pre-ordered model ever. Now, he didn't really provide any more details than that, and I'm not sure how they compare, if they're just comparing the day after release, but that's pretty exciting, and I think that's going to help NIO expand over the next few years, especially going into 2025. Now, the thing that's so good about the ET5 is their expected range. Right now, they have an estimate of a 341 mile range for the standard battery pack. And then if you upgrade to the largest, which is a 150 kilowatt hour battery pack, they're saying you're going to have a range of 620 miles. Now, I'm not sure if you guys are aware of how many miles that really is, but the longest range electric vehicle right now is the Lucid Air Dream, and they have a 520 mile range. So this is a 20% increase over the Lucid Air, and it'll put them at the highest range electric vehicle ever. Now, the only difference being that these ranges are based on a pretty loose standard, where the Lucid Air had more of a strict protocol, and we know that their range is actually somewhat close to 520. So I don't know if the largest battery pack for the ET5 is going to have that range of 620 miles for sure, but at least as of right now, it sounds pretty promising, and that will definitely give them an edge, even over Tesla, because Tesla's longest range vehicle isn't anywhere near 620 miles. Now, for their plans to expand in 2022, they announced at NIO Day that they plan to expand into Germany, the Netherlands, Sweden, and Denmark in 2022. Now, this is coming after after they expanded into Norway this year in September, and by 2025, NIO aims to be in 25 countries. And I think the release of the ET5 has some pretty good timing because NIO can't expect to expand into 25 countries if they have super expensive vehicles. So for them to have more of a budget-friendly option for people in different countries, that's going to allow them to be more successful even if they're not generating as much revenue as if they were expanding with more expensive models. But that's really the way to do it. You can't put your most expensive models out into other countries and expect people to just buy them up. You have to start low and start with your cheaper models and see if people are actually interested, and then you can expand from there. And according to Edison Yu from Deutsche Bank, ahead of NIO Day, he predicted that the ET5 is going to be NIO's most affordable and highest volume EV yet. And by 2023, he actually expects the ET5 to outsell the ET7, and he's estimating there's going to be 65,000 deliveries of the ET5 in that year versus 60,000 of the ET7. And this ET5 is supposed to take on rivals in the mid-size premium segment, and this does include the Tesla Model 3, as well as the BMW 3 Series and the Audi A4. And even though shares fell 2.5% in early trading, and they fell to about 6%, they weren't the only stock that was down, because other EV stocks were down as well, with Tesla shedding 1.7% in early trading. Lucid dropped about 4.3%, and XPeng and Li Auto both pulled back about 3%. And like I mentioned in the intro, this sell-off reflects a broad retreat in global markets due to the new sickness variant, and so that explains all these pullbacks that we're seeing today. But I think it's likely that NIO is going to recover somewhat nicely over the next few weeks as people start considering that this ET5 is going to be a pretty big game changer for NIO. The ET5 really could open up this low end for the premium Chinese car market, and I think personally that that's going to be their key to expanding into other countries. Now the ET7 is going to be the key to international growth over time, but I think the ET5 is what's going to get them started in other countries. The only difference being that the ET7 is going to begin deliveries earlier on, and they're going to begin deliveries in China in March, and then hopefully by the end of the year, they're going to be delivering the ET7 in those countries that I mentioned earlier. And then once the ET5 is released, I think that that's going to boost up their numbers in other countries and help them expand into those 25 countries that they're expecting by 2025. And I'm not the only one thinking this, because a NIO analyst actually reiterated their bullish stance and hiked their revenue estimates following the NIO Day event. Now this analyst is from Bank of America, and they reiterated a buy rating and a $65 price target on NIO. This suggests over a 116% upside from their current levels. And Bank of America also raised their 2022 and 2023 volume estimates for NIO by 5 and 7% respectively, and revenue estimates for each year by 5 and 10%. Now this bullish stance that Bank of America is taking is based on NIO's fast brand expansion and their continuous new model launching, because they pretty much launch a new vehicle every year, if not multiple vehicles. I mean, they just announced the ET7 last year at NIO Day, and now they're going to begin deliveries in the next few months. And then they just announced the ET5, which is expected before the end of 2022. Hopefully by September they can begin deliveries. So with them putting out vehicles every year and having big plans for expansion, this explains why a lot of different analysts are still very bullish on NIO. And this is aside from the fact that they're pulling back so much, but this is due to the overall market, not only with the sickness, but also with the Fed. And so I think once these fears kind of settle down, we're going to see NIO start climbing back up. Now, I can't say for sure how long it's going to take. Like I've said before, I think NIO is more of a long-term play. If you guys are going to buy into NIO, you can't expect to just make back your money or double your money in a matter of weeks. This is a company that's really just getting started. They haven't even made a profit yet, but yet they have these huge ambitious goals to expand into 25 countries by 2025. So I think if you guys haven't invested in NIO, make sure you guys do some research and see if this is a company you want to invest in. You guys know that I'm not a financial advisor, but I've said before that if I thought that a company was really going to do well in the future and they were trading at about half their all-time highs right now, I would definitely start doing some research and see if this is a company I want to invest in. Because say you guys figured you were going to buy in at $60 and now NIO is trading below $30. That's a 50% discount. And once NIO goes back up to $60, even if that takes a couple of years, you're going to have doubled your money in a very short period of time. Now, of course, I'm not saying that that's exactly what's going to happen, but I think with these expansion plans, over the next few years, we're going to start seeing NIO climb up, especially as they acquire more customers and increase that customer base, and as they get the word out about their company. And that's not even to mention the possibility of a 620-mile range. There's going to be a lot more reason for people to buy into NIO with that kind of range versus other electric vehicles, especially considering in China, there's not many places where you can charge your vehicle, especially in more rural areas. So I personally think that the NIO Day event went pretty successfully, and I think everything that NIO has planned over the next few years with the ET5 and the expansion plans for next year and into 2025, this should help boost up NIO, and I personally wouldn't be surprised to see NIO start climbing back up like we saw over the past year before all these concerns that hit the whole market. Now I want to hear from you guys down in the comments whether you think NIO Day was a success or whether it didn't really live up to the hype that was expected. Also, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like because it really does help out the channel. And with that said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you back here in the next one. Bye.